Hello Year 6 and welcome to Monday's spelling and handwriting lesson. As you can see, it's me taking over the spelling and handwriting lessons for this week, but I'm really excited to get started because over Christmas I did treat myself to 2 new books. I bought the Oxford School Dictionary of Word Origins. So it's like a normal dictionary, but you look through for a word. So for example, oyster, and it tells you where that word came from and how we've managed to get that word in the English language. So for oyster, it says it comes from the Old French oist, via Latin from the Greek, I don't know if I'm saying this right, estron. This word is related to osteon, meaning a bone. Okay, so I love languages. I love anything to do with languages. If you're in my class, you'll know that. So this is really interesting for me, and it'll be really interesting for your spellings as well, because you'll get to learn that actually different words have different spellings because they've come to us from different languages, and that's why sometimes English can be really tricky to spell. I've also got, and I love this one, a dictionary of difficult words. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of the slightly more quirky words that are a little bit funny, a little bit unusual, that you might not have heard of before. So I'm going to be doing a little word of the day and sharing some words from this book with you during our lessons. It's all very exciting. Right, let's get on with today's lesson then.
Okay then Year 6, let's get started with the word of the day. So I've chosen 2 today because I just couldn't pick which one to go for. But the first word here, if we just zoom in, is borborygmus. You can see you've got this information here in brackets. It's the phonetic spelling of the word to help you pronounce it. And also the word class, so this word is a noun. Let's say it again. Do you want to try saying it at home as well? Borborygmus. But what does it mean? So borborygmus is the rumbling sound that comes from someone's stomach. I didn't know before now that it actually had a name, so that's interesting, isn't it? I've learned something new. And then the next one is bedazzled. Bedazzled, and that is an adjective. So when you are bedazzled by something, you are so impressed by it that you don't notice the bad things about it. So you can see in the picture there, you've got this very grand palace, and it looks quite amazing, doesn't it? But if you were bedazzled, you'd be so impressed by what you can see, you wouldn't notice the wicked witch on a broomstick, and you wouldn't notice the ugly crane hanging about next to it. Okay, so there we go. You might want to try and use those new words. Maybe write a sentence with them, or try and teach your parents, your adults at home, some new words too. Okay, this week's learning objective then is to spell the shul sound after a vowel. Now, last week you focused all on spelling the shul sound after a, do you remember what it was? Yes, a consonant with Mrs. Green. But just a quick recap, the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and then all the other letters in the alphabet are consonants. Okay, have a little think back to last week's lesson then. Can you think of any words that end in the shul sound? Could you pause the video and write them down, as many as you can think of, and then play the video and meet me back here once you've finished. Okay, now I haven't got them all here, but let's take a look at some examples. You might have written some of these down. Influential, partial, artificial, special, confidential, and essential. So what did you learn about last week's words then? How did you know which shul ending to put at the end of these words? What was your strategy to help you figure out which suffix, which spelling of the cial sound goes at the end. Have a little think, maybe take a little look back at your notes from last week. So, like I just mentioned, you had two different spellings for the cial sound, didn't you? That was the T-I-A-L and the C-I-A-L spelling. Now, if we take a look at this slide, it'll act as a little bit of a reminder for us as to when we use the C-I-A-L and when you use the T-I-A-L. So, if the end of the stem word ends in a vowel, then you add C-I-A-L. Okay, so if the stem of your word ends in A, E, I, O, U, you add C-I-A-L. But if the stem of your word ends in a consonant, so for example in substantial, so in substance, an N, then you add T-I-A-L. Okay, now sometimes you can use the root word to help you. So for example, the root word for official is office, and that ends in an E, doesn't it, which is a vowel. That does work sometimes to help decide the cial spelling that you need. But you can see there is a problem here when we have the word substance, because that also ends in a vowel, doesn't it, in an E, but we use the T-I-A-L spelling because the stem is a consonant. Now, the way that we can find out whether the stem ends in a vowel or a consonant is to use a strategy that Mrs. Green introduced you to last week. That was segmenting your word into syllables. So for example, with the word artificial, I like, when I'm working out the syllables for words, I often like to clap along when I'm saying the word. So artificial. You can see that the last sound, the last letter before the cial is a vowel. So that's how we know that we need a C-I-A-L ending. Okay, so let's do that again. Artificial. Okay, so that ends in a vowel, so we need C-I-A-L. So your rule of thumb then, to help you remember, is that when the stem of the word ends in a vowel, add C-I-A-L. Okay, you've got practice to do now, so a your turn. I've got the beginning of some of the spelling words for this week on the left-hand side of the slide, and then the endings of the word with the cial spellings on the right. Can you match the beginning of the word to the end of the word? Okay, welcome back. Let's go through the answers. So, the first one is anti-social. The next is official, which is this one. The next word should be superficial, which is this one. The next one is special. Yep. The next is artificial. The next is social. Looking for AL, there it is. The next is racial, so I just need an L. The next is crucial. So if something is crucial, it's vital, it's extremely important. The next is facial. It's an adjective to describe anything to do with your face. And then the last word is beneficial. So if something is beneficial to somebody, it's something that supports them. Okay, that helps them with something. Okay, how did you get on? Okay, right. So here are your spelling words for this week then. So we've got official, special, artificial, social, antisocial, crucial, beneficial, racial and superficial. Okay, so it's quiz time. Have a little look at the clues. I'll read them through with you now anyway. And then feel free to flip back to your spelling list and use those to help you answer and to fill in the answers for the grid. Okay, so clue number 1. This word is relating to an office, a position of trust or having authority. Okay, don't forget you can flip back, pause the video, look through your spelling list and try and find the word. Let's read out the second clue. So this word is created by a human. It's not natural. The next clue is relating to human society, an interaction between people. Tell you what, let's zoom in a little bit. And this word describes something that's not social. And before I reveal the answers, have a go at the extra challenge too, a new word, so a new and exciting word. It relates to a glacier or describes something as being incredibly cold. Okay, right, let's have a little look then. Let's reveal the answers. So word number 1 was official. Word number 2 was artificial. Word number 3 was social. Okay, we often talk about social media, don't we? It's to do with interaction between people. And almost the opposite of this word, isn't it? What prefix can you add to social to make it the opposite? Well done if you said antisocial. And then your new exciting word was glacial. Okay, well done if you got that right. There was a bit of a clue there, wasn't there, in the clue. It was like a double clue there for you. Okay, moving on. So, your spelling challenges for today. Now, we've just introduced you to these words really, so you haven't really had too much of a chance to see or to find out what these words mean. So, Chile 1, you are going to look up the meaning of your words in a dictionary, or you could just use Google or whatever search engine you've got to look them up. And then Chile 2, you're going to do Chile 1, and you're going to practice segmenting each of the spelling words into syllables to find the stem. So remember earlier on in the lesson, we clapped the syllables of artificial to work out what the stem was before the shall ending. If you need a little bit of a recap on how to do that, just rewind the video, go back and have a listen again. So it's up to you. You can say them out loud, clap along, or you could write them out segmented on your piece of paper. And then Chile 3, you are going to do Chile 2, and you are going to look up the word class of the different words. So are they adjectives? Are they nouns? Are they verbs? Are they adverbs? And jot down what you notice about the word class of the words. And finally, just before I head off and leave you to your chilies, just to let you know that the Spelling Shed class winners as of the 14th of January, in first place we've got 6R with 61,118,146 points. Woo woo, well done 6R. Then we've got 6G in second place with 60,425,791 points. Well done 6G. Then we've got 6M with 53,724,537 points. Well done 6M. And then 6P, what's going on? Come on, you need to get practicing on Spelling Shed. you've got 29,434,312 points. It's still a lot of points, so well done for those of you who have been on there practicing, but I think you can do a little bit more practice this week. Okay, so well done everybody. Keep a lookout because I will be setting some more challenges on Spelling Shed this week for you to compete with. Okay, good luck with your chilies, and as usual, if you need any help or support, just send us an email to year6@franchprimary.wus.sc.uk. Okay, I'll see you all again tomorrow.